I did my "it's just video games" chant before I showed up on camera here, so fret not. It's not like I'm about to have a meltdown. It's not like I dressed for the occasion and I got nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daddy Plays is coming out to play. What does that mean? It means I'm going to talk to Xbox like a really disappointed father, and their kid just did something horribly wrong that cannot happen again. So, last night was the Game Awards, and it was a really good time in my opinion. From iconic moments like the dude talking about Bill Clinton all the way to fantastic reveals like Jedi Survivor and Armored Core 6. I mean, it was a rockin' night in my opinion, but there was like one blemish on the night for a particular ecosystem. You know, we had PlayStation outside, they had the Horizon DLC Forspoken, they had tons of other exclusives there. Nintendo shows up, little Bayo. Okay, so we got all the platform holders here, and Xbox, you know, I feel like Game Pass has been the saving grace this year that has kept them in the limelight next to the Activision deal that people want them to have secured so they can start to deliver, you guessed it, games. And a lot of people have speculated that the reason Xbox was a no-show here was because of regulators, that if they were to reveal that Xbox has exclusives, that they would say no to the Activision deal. I don't really buy into that malarkey, and I think it is heinous that they had zilch. I mean, they went out there and did a full-on Snell. 0, 0, 0 across the board. It was unreal, because here's the thing that's really irking me here. When you look at what happened at the summer showcase, Xbox did a wise move and said everything you're seeing will be out within a year. And I like that strategy because it means what we see, we won't have to wait a long time for. And now that we're here in December, we're about halfway there, right? And when you think about what's supposed to come out still, by the way, in the first half of 2023, Starfield, Redfall, Forza Motorsport, you thought one of those three would show up. And I think that's completely fair. I wasn't feeling Starfield. I never had a feeling Starfield would show up at TGA, but Redfall, if that game flops, we are going to have a nice long talk again, by the way, about Xbox's ability or lack thereof to market their video games, because I feel like Redfall above all of them needed that stage to have their, say, release date moment. And there wasn't Forza Motorsport there. None of the day one Game Pass games really outside of Warhammer, Space Marine. I just thought it was stunning that none of the big three to start off 2023 were there to be shown at all. When it's been raining Redfall trailers, it seems, and when we haven't heard mum about Starfield since the summer showcase and just verbal updates in the case of Forza, this felt like an opportune time to really get things in motion for here's 2023, here's what we're going to do. And that's why it was such a crushing blow to the ecosystem. It's like this year started on a high. We got the Activision deal and it just trended down. And again, if it weren't for Game Pass, we'd be down horrendous. But the reality is that there should have been something. There is no excuse for a platform holder to just miss the biggest show of the year. Whether you like Keighley or not, that's not my business. I don't really care. It's about the fact that that man pulls numbers, and we know Xbox knows that because they've been there with Hellblade. Hellblade's been at the Game Awards twice, and you're telling me they were able to show the reveal with the Series X alongside Hellblade 2, then a gameplay reveal for Hellblade 2. Okay. There's nothing cooking again, maybe, to finally put a, say, release year on that? It's just so many leaps in my head I have to make to process this reality, because ultimately what it says to me is I should have some level of concern here for Starfield, Redfall, Forza if they were not ready to show, and they're apparently half a year out, technically 7 months, but let's bend a little bit here. And again, with how often we've seen Redfall, if we see like in the next 3 weeks to a month, a new trailer that announces the release date separate from the Game Awards, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose it. I understand the development team has to firm these things up. They have to make sure they're 100% certain when they want to drop their game because they don't want to delay it again. They know how the Xbox community is going to get a little bit rowdy. Completely understand and respect the developers' desires. But as a platform holder, the fact that there was the Snell performance of a lifetime here was really, as someone who's a fan of the ecosystem like many of you, disappointing. And when we are apparently kicking off 2023, like, yeah, let's go, it's finally a new generation, how can I believe that if we're 1 month away from that start of the year and y'all were dead silent? Now, I'm going to pull some pressure off of Phil here in one regard. A lot of people were saying to me on Twitter, why did Phil show up? Why was Sarah on there? Come on, man. Like, they had nothing to show off. They don't have to have things to show off to attend the show. There have been years where Nintendo skipped or PlayStation skipped. Albeit with Xbox, it is a consistency to not be there with games. And when we're all hearing the narrative of 2023 is the start of Xbox delivering games, and we're 1 month away, and we didn't get any updates on any major Xbox games, where apparently 3 big ones are dropping in the first half of the year, where is the confidence there for your fan base? And to me, it's like, I'm just tossing my hands and going, one of these 3, I've been Team Starfield delay for a while. I'm not going to say it's going to be that one, but one of these 3 I feel might get the bump. And I'm just preparing myself for that. I said it a couple of videos ago. Well, more than a couple of videos ago. I said it a while ago, but there was a video dedicated to Starfield's release date. And I did say we have to consider the realistic possibility of this game getting a delay at some point in time, because they can't mess it up, right? So we have to factor that into the no-show. If there is uncertainty, there is likely pressure, even more so now, because they are going to be platform sellers, to really nail it here. And I gotta say, man, that if they gotta delay Starfield, I'm for it, but they ought to be ready because they need answers. If 2023 shapes up to be, pretty much what we were supposed to get in 2022, I would consider that an Xbox L. I hate to sound ungrateful, especially when I am stoked to the high heavens for Starfield. Y'all know how I feel about Bethesda Game Studios, but this was the chance to maybe see something new. I don't know about Fable, for example. I see a lot of people clamoring for Fable. The internet's going to break when that game gets announced if it looks good, because I always see people asking for Fable, and y'all already know. Avowed is probably the bigger brain blower to me, because I'm just like, what? This thing, they said a couple of summer showcases ago now that it was ready to be shown off soon, in an actual quote from Obsidian on the Xbox Wire, and now it's just nowhere to be found. And I respect the idea of like Xbox wanting to have their own showcase in June and show a lot of these for the first time on their platform. Something I did clamor for, like when they didn't do the big campaign reveal, I think it was, for Halo Infinite at Xbox's show. They did it a couple months later at Gamescom with Jeff Keighley. But to me, that was a statement. Hey, we recognize this platform's really big and we have something to show here. We're going to use yours instead of our own to break out to new customers. So that's why you want to put for example, Redfall, which has been severely undermarketed on social media outside of the occasional trailer, because it's not breaking out to new communities. It's marketing 101. And I just don't know if, again, like Xbox sees they're cooking a trailer up, which just dropped about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, if we're getting stretchy there, that they didn't say, hold up, we got a big show coming up. You guys want to hold this? Maybe put a date, put a window, because there were a lot of games that put, say, April 2023. Like, they didn't put the day, but they put the month, and just gave us a good window. And that's still, to me, something worth getting excited for. Now, Xbox is aware of this demand. Aaron Greenberg posted on his personal Twitter account, "We have a lot planned to show and share about an incredibly exciting year ahead for 2023. I appreciate folks are eager to learn and see more. Timing is always key, but don't worry. You will not have to wait too long for what's next from us." So this is back to what I said earlier about Redfall. And I said, I swear to God, if I get a release date from them in like January, cool, I will be excited. I'm not going to pretend I'm going to be all bummed out about it, but like this felt like the opportunity. Unless Xbox is cooking up something I've pitched a lot, which is their own show, sort of like Nintendo Direct, then that will be hype and I will understand it. But right now, as a fan with concerns, I don't get it. I could ramble all day, but point being is Xbox cannot keep doing this. And especially when this felt like a moment to make a statement of, they didn't have to show out and have like 18 games, but this had a moment here where they could have stepped out and been like, here's something. Here is an update. Even if it's Forza, maybe you would have gotten an eye roll from someone like me and players like me who are looking for something beyond the burger, shake, and fries combo that Xbox has delivered to us for years with, your Gears, your Forza, your Halo, you know the combo, right? So, of course, there would have been a couple eye rolls there, but it would have been something. But I don't know how I can walk away from this with complete confidence and feel like that first half of 2023 window is still something I can bite on. Because the only other option here to me to generate that excitement for a lot of people is when you put that date. I mean, the proximity is close. Think about what happened with Ghostwire Tokyo and how Bethesda handled that. It was a month out. It's possible that they do that, and that will be crazy. And don't get me wrong, like if they say it's April and they go, Starfield's coming out in May, I think that would be unwise marketing wise, because I do think Ghostwire Tokyo was kind of sent out to die, but I'll be stoked to just know, like, yo, I don't gotta wait. Like, it's coming, and it's coming soon. What I'll just say additively here at the tail end about Starfield is we were supposed to get constellation questions for the questing in the game relatively soon, to my knowledge, just because they dropped the first episode and then just fell off the radar afterwards. And that now we didn't get like a trailer or anything. I'm just thinking, man, like, is it time to really start considering that delay? Like, I don't mean to resurface an old talking point here, but I can't help but think sometimes that Starfield may get bumped. We saw Todd getting a little shaky when he brought up frame rate in the Lex Friedman podcast, and kind of was, to me at least, and this is just speculation / interpretation, but indicating maybe a 30 FPS only future. And things may change, and you have to create that performance mode, that fidelity mode, and different things are required of now the, I'd say, lead studio to sell the platform. And you got to have your accessibility options. You got to have all of your modes for your console players to enjoy. The cloud support needs to be there, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, I will just say as a reminder at the tail end here, it won't be any less disappointing or upsetting, but consider the realm of possibility of Starfield being delayed, but also one of these three. To me, it looks more likely that Redfall should land in this first half of the year. But when it comes to Starfield, I don't know. I feel like I know Bethesda's marketing and they like to, keep things quiet. But when it's a new IP, and they have been talkative, just not showy, I feel like we need to see more of this so people can get to know it, right? It's not just Fallout. It's not Elder Scrolls where you see the name and know what it is. Starfield is brand new, and they really need to start pushing this thing. But of course, that takes time, and if it needs time, it goes back to the delay. So I just have some concerns on the regard. I just have some concerns on when we will see these games. So we'll see how it all goes, but this was a conversation we needed to have. And I hate to be that guy, that whiny dude who's just like, man, come on, Xbox. And I know there's plans behind the scenes that I and many of you are not privy to, but they need to, and they know optics. We just talked about it when Xbox really flipped the script with Nintendo and Steam's deal. Like, they know optics. They probably know better than anybody because their entire generation for the Xbox One, among many other reasons, was killed from a 30-second used games video. So they know optics, they know the power of it, and they know this was a bad look. They should have figured something out here. They should have drummed up a trailer, because you could have put a trailer out there and just not put a date on it even, although I think that would have been wise to put something out there. Point being, you can't keep doing this. And this was the year that I feel was the biggest mistake to do it. So we'll see how Xbox carries themselves into 2023. Will in June we get some type of announcement? Where is the next showcase? Because for many of us, we know there's a gap up until that summer showcase. And if the game is coming out, one of those three in the first half of the year, is it just going to be a Twitter announcement? To me, that feels a little underwhelming. I feel like it should have got a trailer of its own. We'll see. But that's all I got to say without me spinning in circles here. So let me know your thoughts on what's going on with Xbox and their reveals in 2023. I'm looking forward to your thoughts. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support all of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.